realizing that goal. Good afternoon. We've done approximately 13 minutes past 1. You're live on Joy 99.7 FM. Welcome to the Joy Sports Truck. It's the day after. The day after Ghana football won big. The day after the story of Ghana football was told in a very, very positive light. It's the day after the Super Clash. And of course, the buzz, the feeling, the pride is palpable. People are talking about what an experience the Super Clash was. It's even more exciting if you're a fan of Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko. But of course, beyond the 3 points, beyond the bragging rights, lots of positive to draw. Not least, we've come to understand that over 7 billion old Ghana cedis was realized as match day revenue. And I'm talking, ticket sales alone. So this afternoon will be all about the Ghana Premier League. We will try to gauge how we can build on, consolidate the gains we've made after the Super Clash yesterday. The stadium was filled to the rafters. Over 30,000 people inside the Accra Sports Stadium to watch Hearts-of-Oak play Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Is the love back? Is a question a lot of people are asking. What can we do as stakeholders to enhance the brand Ghana Premier League and the brand Ghana football? What can the media do? What can the FA do? What can the fans do? What can clubs do? These are the angles we'll be exploring here on the Joy Sports Track. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Hans Mensah Andoh. We are on from now up until 2 p.m. George Adu Jr. will be on with me. We'll be linking up with Benedict Osudankwa. The Ghana Football Association has been meeting the press. We'll get details from that particular encounter. Also, let's get your thoughts. Were you at the Accra Sports Stadium? Tell us about your experience. What can we do to consolidate the gains that we've made? Send us a WhatsApp message on 0244340437. That's 0244340437. Welcome one more time. My name is Hans Mensah Andoh.
It's a free kick for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Here the cross was It's a free kick for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Here the cross was faded, run over, loops the ball into the area, that's the ball, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko has the first goal! Just display! Just a goal for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The Porcupine Warriors draw first blood in enemy territory. 1-0. Just display with a majestic header into the post. What a game we're seeing here. The away fans to my left, to my right are really in raptures at the moment, jumping and singing. Just display really was one of the key samplers of this game, and what a way to take this goal. The corner kick on the way now of Accra Hearts-of-Oak. Taking over again by Radi Oboja. Oboja with the ball, then hits a lovely cross above everybody. Ball clears the post! And the phobia band cries out loud. They have got the goal! And Joseph Esso gets the goal for Accra Hearts-of-Oak. What a goal! And the phobia birds are flying free will. They've got the equalizer. It's 1-1 here at the CrossFord Stadium. What an atmosphere. The stadium is totally jammed into raptures. People dribbling everybody. Late to the pass has gone back to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Can they find a way now? Yes, it's a penalty. So this kick defines it. Naby Keita to win for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Hands on the way here at the Accra Sports Stadium. Referee whistles. Hands up. Naby Keita. And it's a goal. Naby Keita with the win. Kumasi Asante Kotoko have stolen on 3 points. And referee called for the end of the game. Kumasi Asante Kotoko go home with 3 points. Defeated the enemy on enemy territory. From here, 2-1. Kotoko will smile. The capital is red.
And George Addo Jr. there, always sumptuous commentary here on Joy 99.7 FM. Charlie hit a job hard, not easy. But we've got board member of Accra for Mr. Frank Nelson on the line. Hello, Mr. Nelson.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. And let me find out within the context of what Ghana football has been through over the last 2 years, the normalization process. All that we had to deal with. And then you just oppose it to the game we saw yesterday with the context of officiating, the standard of play, the conduct of the fans. How far have we come?
Well, thank you very much. And want to say very good afternoon to our listeners. I think we all know where we're coming from, and we all know what happened to Ghana football in the last 2 years. And we saw the news that greeted the commencement of the league in Ghana, and we saw the statement, we saw the coming of a new president in the name of Simeon Keto Kreku, a social media man, game changer. Well, I think it is a very good thing what we are seeing now. In all amount of sincerity, I think there's a lot of euphoria about Ghana football, because Ghana is a nation where everybody looks at and then begin to see this is a nation that carries out football. Now, when you want to see what is happening, you just ask me a question in terms of the support base, in terms of the officiating, attendance, and every other thing. I think it's been fantastic so far. And I want to take it as, for example, what I saw Lagos City doing. For me, Lagos City has brought a big turnaround in Ghana football. For me, it's history they are making. It's happened somewhere, some places in the world. But when you see what they are doing in terms of the entertainment, it gives us that opportunity that for me, going to church or going to any other place, I can get to stadium there. My wife does not like football, or my children do not like football, but there's something else that can keep them in football. So I think that part where Lagos City has come in is a big plus for Ghana football, and I think it should be encouraged, not just for Lagos City. Even if FA can adapt a system of that nature, I think it's something we'll appreciate. It's been something we also positive. If you look at the security in the environment of football these days, you'll find that there's security presence of national police officers, the NADMO, and every other thing. Equally gives the confidence for people to attend to matches when people feel that we are secured in the environment. Actually, I think that is equally a very big plus. You will not take things away from the NSA. Yesterday, I was happy when I saw the Ohinijan Stadium, the presidential, but I saw the seats were numbered, and my wife sat in the seat, and the official told me, your number is 36. That brings another sanity in the environment where we so means NFA is equally picking up the attitude everybody wants to see. So it means our football is moving positively. And I think there's equally other things that one would like to look at in terms of how the social media, the GFA social media is reacting, the way they're tweeting, the way they're getting to the public, positive things, bearing in mind that GFA President Capo is a social media person. So I think these things are all positive for our football. When you want to talk about officiating has not been that bad, but we've had incidences. I mean, we had people like Alaji Guza complaining, we have people like Intala coming up, we have people making noise. And if I'm not taking wind out of you, I mean, we saw yesterday, in the stadium, we saw what happened in Kotoko that led to the ban of Kotoko for 5 matches, that led to the supporters tuning, and I think you will not give the officiating 100%. Yesterday, for once, I think that the referee, though, human being he was, but I don't think he got it all right. I don't like complaining about the referees because we all human beings. We can make mistakes. But I think yesterday, I think he got it wrong in my judgment book. I don't think that is the best he could have done yesterday. Speaking from not because I'm a supporter or rather board member of Accra Suffolk, I speak as a football lover, and I speak for the people who got into the stadium. Incidences like this could cause a situation where people begin to behave negatively, and that is what we are trying to prevent. That will not go away for the new GFA. It will not give us that level we want to see in a football. We want to see a football where everybody can go to the stadium and feel free, speak, and walk around. At the end of the day, everybody will say, "Oh, I didn't know this officiating is what." But what we saw yesterday, seriously speaking, I think it was not the best of officiating. I believe maybe somebody need to watch the clips from a different eye. Then maybe the referee himself might be able to watch his performance and see whether he did very well. But having said that, I think Bridget, the love is back in Ghana football. I think everybody is speaking. The old lady in the street, everybody is happy. Hey, they say because they say Stadium. There's there's entertainment, there's so much thing that you get to enjoy in football. You can sell your things, but there are other things we can still do in that atmosphere.
And I like the point on which you ended that submission. There, the other things that we can do, of course, we cannot take what we saw yesterday at the Accra Sports Stadium for granted. We need to consolidate these games, build on what we saw. What are some of the things that we can do to enhance match day experience specifically for fans?
Well, I think first of all, we need to continue the education we are doing. The media, especially, I've enjoyed for multimedia. You're doing a lot of work in terms of you taking time to devote hours in terms of your program, making sure you educate people on football, talk about the negative and the positive. This is one good thing that we should. Education will be something we must make sure that we do. Then I think again that we should not just sit and say it is okay. We must create what we call comfort zones for people who attend matches. For instance, if I attend a football match and I'm feeling like I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, I think even in the stadium we should even create places like the pharmacy zone. We should be able to create a comfortable restaurant that I can say I'm coming from the church. I don't feel like going home because I live all the way to Oyarefa. But I can go to the stadium. In that stadium, I can get a good food to eat. If my child is sick, he has a medication that I forgot to take him when I was going out, I can get that in the pharmacy. Those are the things I think that when you talk about comfort zone, we must be able to get that. And I think again that maybe we need to reduce the presence of the arms in the stadium, because most of the people, when you see police scattered all over with everybody with arms, tear gas, again, it brings some fears in the eye of the people. So in as much as they mean good, they want to tell people that their presence is there. There's another way it has this negative effect. So we must try to find a way to reduce those presence by continuous education. When people begin to catch all of this, they know that the police are just there for the sake of every other person. Then the police will begin to start reducing their arms so that people don't feel threatened with the presence of arms. And I think that clubs again must reinvest. Clubs is not just cashing and then forget about reinvesting in your facilities in every other thing. The clubs must take an opportunity. This business is booming. What do we do to our business? What do we do to our players? The stakeholders in the game, we must find a way to motivate our players because we're making money. People are coming to the stadium now. So let's reinvest the money that we make into this. Let's not say, yes, this is an opportunity. Hassan Kotoko is playing, Hassan Lindiama is playing, that this is the time we make money, and then at the end of the day, we do not invest such money. I think we must find a way to get an attitude of reinvesting into the facility, into the game that we all love. When we invest, the reward is always enormous. We cannot take that away from that. And again, I think, if you ask me, I think that we need to look at our pricing equally in terms of games. It's not just when it's a particular match, you try to cash all your money at a particular, because as is playing Midiama says you are charging 50 Ghana cedi. You can stop people from moving to the state. We must find that level ground where we know that the economy is not that what it used to be. Everybody is crying about how the economy, but people love football because some people get to football. Maybe that's a place you get to distress yourself. That's a place you want to find a comfort zone. That's where you meet old friends. That's where you chat. So it must be a place where we create comfort zone that people will be able to enter with, whatever they have as finance in terms of getting to this. I'm not saying that you should just say that Ghana football should be charging 1 Ghana cedi, but you must look at the economy and look at and see what you are charging people. Because if you played 50 Ghana cedi in a match in Dansuma or Midiama, you might find people not going there. So I think all these things, we need to look at all these things and then be able to find ways of getting things to get to normal. But I believe our football is going up. Yesterday I saw a lot of traders. Our restaurants in the environment is very important because people ask you, where do I eat? Yeah. And we are confronted with just a bar where you can take beer or malt and every other thing. There must be opportunity where I can go in and say, I want pizza, this is Papa Pizza, I want this Eddie Pizza, I can go in, there's a restaurant where I can eat. So these things will give us the opportunity. And then with what Lagos City is doing, I think that we should not take it away because it gives me that opportunity. Shatawale is in the stadium. So I've never watched Shatawale because in National Stadium, whatever, any concert is going to cost me 200 Ghana cedi to watch it. Now I can pay 50 Ghana cedi or 20 Ghana cedi. I can watch Shatawale. So I think we should ask. That's an
interesting point. Hold the line for me. Let me reach out to Jerome Otri, who's joined us on the line, former editor, Kotoko Express. Hello, Jerome. Okay, it appears we've lost Jerome there. And Mr. Nelson.
Yes, sir.
That's an interesting point you made there. Do you get a sense that businesses are not, taking full advantage of the bar that is being created around the Ghana Premier League? For instance, you mentioned, Eddie's Pizza and the likes. Do you get a sense that businesses are not really taking full advantage of the situation?
I don't think that's why I mentioned education. That's why I equally applaud social media, applaud the media houses who are doing their good work like multimedia. Your station is doing very well trying to let people know that most of the people they don't understand. I've even taken up my mind just to talk the manager of Papa Pizza. I just called him this morning and said, have you thought about Accra Stadium? Or have you thought about Kumasi Stadium? Don't you think you could have a stand in one of these stadiums to sell your pizza? Because an outlet, what we had yesterday, number of people who have is getting about 30,000 and above.
For instance, Hearts played, at home. Of course, the responsibility lies on you to create that match day experience for the fans. Did you, for instance, reach out to some of these businesses to come and sell there?
Well, that's why I just told you that I spoke to Papa Pizza, and then I asked him that it's an opportunity for him to do such business in Accra Stadium, even Kumasi Stadium, where we have big crowd and every other thing. Not just big crowds, you must give it a little bit into it, because it's an opportunity for every businessman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we should look at. The other businesses, pharmacies, people who can, chemists can come into Accra Stadium and open an outlet for pharmaceutical products. So if I'm sick, I have headache, I can go in. I've lost a match, and my pressure is off. I need to get somewhere to get. It's not just waiting on the Red Cross or whatever, national, whatever, but we need to get those places you can get immediate attention.
Okay.
So we can be able to have it all.
Okay. Let me reach out to Jerome. Hello, Jerome. Hello, Jerome.
Hello, Hans.
Yes, Jerome, thank you very much for your time. Now, you were at the stadium. I'm sure you felt the buzz around, the entire game. This is a Hearts Kotoko game. It's relatively easier to sell than a lot of the other fixtures. How do we, translate what we saw yesterday to the other fixtures? We won't record the same numbers, but how do we ensure that we are recording, better numbers as opposed to what we recorded previously?
Well, let me confess that I did not watch the match, but I've seen pictures and videos of whatever transpired. And
it's interesting for somebody who didn't watch the game, was not at the stadium. Your social media activity around it was.
that should tell you that I was following everything that was happening. But just to answer your question, I think there's a whole lot we have to do. To get this level of excitement for the other matches or in the other matches. And there is something I've always been saying. The clubs have a lot of work to do. Everything will go and stop with the clubs. If you are running a football club and you want people to be interested in what you are doing, it's all about how you position yourself to be attractive. And I think this is what a lot of our clubs have not done. Even for Hearts of Oak and Kotoko, you would agree with me that there's so much they can do to really, really bring their fans or their supporters to this level. What happened yesterday, for me, I don't think so much was done. It was more about the natural love that these fans have for their teams, and the fact that they wanted to be there to see what they have to offer. So we just have to sit back and understand that the way we are running our clubs in Ghana football is not the best. If we can tweak things a bit, change how things are being done, I can tell you the other teams will record not necessarily the same numbers, but the enthusiasm that people have for their matches will definitely go up.
Job, we've seen this level of enthusiasm, this level of support for the local game in the 90s, in the early 2000s, probably even the mid 2000s, and then suddenly we began to see a decline. How do we ensure that we maintain the standard, that we don't go back to the era when it became even difficult to sell Hearts Kotoko games?
So, in those years that you refer to, you and I know that the game had not developed. So just anything could pass. Now the game has developed. People can tell right from their homes or their houses what you should be doing, which you are not doing. And so if they don't see you doing those things, they will not see any point in coming to watch your games. First of all, the clubs must position themselves well and make that point. If you talk about player recruitment, what is it that your fans should know or should understand, so that if you tell them come and watch my matches, they will come. Take Asante Kotoko for example. There's now a lad on the scene who is dazzling everyone. Wherever he passes, everybody wants to see him. Everybody wants to talk to him. So if it's about recruitment that our clubs are doing, let us make sure we recruit the best and also try and keep them, try and maintain them. The problem, as I have seen it, is that some of these good players who play for our clubs, leave the scene just after a season. And how do you sustain interest in your matches if the best performers in your team are leaving every season? So that is one area we must look at. If we're able to check that, I'm sure this level of excitement in our matches or in our competition will be sustained for a little while.
Hello, Mr. Nelson. Jerome, hold the line for me. Mr. Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the quality of football on display yesterday. There were quite a number of people I interacted who felt that, we're all excited about the return of the Ghana Premier League. We're excited about the fixture, but the quality of football on display was simply not too good. Are we suffering from, missing out on a whole football season, or is it just a bad day at the office for these players?
Well, it's a different school of thought, and maybe I might look at it from a different way. I didn't think the quality of football was so bad yesterday. We managed to do with what we have. You will agree with me that the mass exodus of footballers from this nation has cost this nation a lot. And then they all came to what we were talking about the past, because people didn't have the confidence in the environment where we're all staying. Everybody who has the little opportunity for $500, he wants to go to Tanzania, he wants to go to Mauritius, people want to go to Malaysia for $400. At the end of the day, you see players going there 4 years, you see them coming back. You're saying, what were you doing? You find out it's like, oh, I didn't, this is what is. And stories, people went to Libya when you even know there was war in Libya. People were even putting their health in. But I believe that if we'll be able to get the academies and the youth, I'm very happy that the president of the Ghana Football Association is taking the youth, and I see the way it's working. I believe that is the only way he can turn the Ghana football, and I think we should give him that support so that we'll be able to nurture our young boys and get them to that level. In this nation, we have a lot of talents. Everybody mentioned Ghana, everybody knows it's a bundle of talent nation. So I don't think it's something we should just know. But for now, this is what we have a lot of people who want to return home. Players who will know that we're doing well. If we want to that left this shot just because of maybe enough excitement or compensation in terms of salaries and every other thing they get. They felt that we can get it. So for now, it will be difficult for us to say. If you watch it, translate it even in a national team. At the time, we're looking for most of the people who played for the Black Stars were people who were brought from outside to come and augment the strength of the Black.
Hello, Jerome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, complete that point for me.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, I'm listening, sir.
Yes, you are making a point. Just wrap it up for me.
Now, what I'm just saying that I think we need to encourage all other facilities players in terms of academy, the youth development, the law should apply and every other thing, how people treat people who are managers in between, who are manager, what makes you be a manager, what qualifies you, how you teaching this child, does he go to school, does he understand what he's doing? We need to give those encouragements so that we can be able to breed our players. And then the club, that's what I was talking about, reinvesting. That's why I said that the club should be able to reinvest some of these proceeds into their players, because they are without them. When I was in Bahrain, I listened to the FIFA president Infantino. He said, look, you cannot take away the stakeholders. They are the people who make the game, and you cannot take it. We are managers, but those who play the football, we must make sure that we give them the best, and giving them at the best when they are young gives us the best for us to get in the future. So I think that we should be able to look at those issues, and then I believe the near future, this nation will turn out to be a nation where people will come for scouting as it used to be in old days.
Thank you very much. Mr. Frank Nelson is a board member of Accra Hearts. Thank you very much for your time.
You're most welcome, sir. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Jerome. Hello, Jerome.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take the discussion further. The buzz is back. Everybody's excited. But there is still the small matter of Ghana's performance at the continental level, Ghanaian club's performance at the continental level. How important is it that going forward, the Ghanaian clubs, perform better? And I'm asking you this because we are talking about two clubs potentially who can be representing Ghana, season in, season out at the continental level.
Hans, I have said that to be able to perform well on the continent, our clubs need to do the very things that the other top performers are doing. You can clearly tell that we are not doing well because we are not doing the things they are doing. The question to ask is, what are the things that they are doing which we are not doing here? Number one, if you want to perform well on the continent, apart from qualifying from your domestic competition, you must have the best of players at the top level. some of the players that are competing in the CAF Champions League, some of them are worth $1 million. Ask yourself whether our clubs can afford to purchase that quality of players. So that is one thing which is lacking in our game. In fact, the fundamental point is that our clubs do not have enough money to really wrestle with the rest of the continent when it comes to CAF competitions. So it comes back to the point I made earlier, which is to position ourselves well, get to do the right things administratively, technically, and the business aspect. Get our marketing right to be able to raise enough capital to purchase the best of players and keep them. If we are not able to do these things, look, we are going to have all the excitement in these local derbies, but when it gets onto the continent, we will struggle because we do not have the quality of players and even coaching-wise to match these guys from the other countries.
Let's bring the discussion back home. There was a small matter of, an incident before kickoff yesterday where fans had to get Star Times, the broadcast rights holders, to remove a banner that depicted foreign football stars at the match venue. What that tells me is that fans are becoming conscious of the marketing aspect of the game as well. Does it raise the bar for clubs and club administrators?
Absolutely, it does. And I was very happy to hear that, even though you may want to question the manner in which it was done. But that should tell you that fans gradually are getting fed up with the influx of European football. There's nothing we can do. Whether we like it or not, media is always going to do what it thinks will really bring revenue. So if local football is not bringing good revenue to media will decide to pay attention to European football. But it sends a good signal because what I can see is that people really want to see our local game developing. And it all comes back to the very things we have to do to lift the game. Yesterday's game, for instance, look at the standard of officiating. Some say it was good. Others believe that the referee really did not do well, particularly with the last decision. But I'll tell you this. Some amount of confidence is coming back in terms of how referees are performing. If all these things go well, I tell you, people will shun European football, no matter how good it is, to follow our domestic game. And that in itself will help it to grow.
Well, thank you very much, Jerome Otre. You have a question for him?
Oh, not a question.
Okay. George Adu Jr. is here.
Jerome. Jerome, how you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. I missed the call. I'm going to call.
Yeah, I know. The capital is red. That's so good. It's so good.
Of course.
But Jerome and Hans, I have a little diagram I'm going to try and explain, and I've been trying to do the simple analysis of how we got there in terms of how the fans came to the stadium and everything. I would like to put at the base of everything the product, which is what we are going to watch, what we are going to see, the storylines, the angles that the media want to fall on. So you have the product, then you have the media picking on the product to publicize what we've got. Then the fans pick up on what the media is saying and follow up to the stadium to watch. But when we all get to the stadium, it is the stadium experience that is going to bring all of us back to the stadium again. So,
I agree.
Yes. So I think that this is the cycle that all our Premier League clubs need to pay attention to. They really need to pay attention to. And the stadium experience bit and the product is heavily reliant on administrators.
Yeah, and just to add to that, look, we also have to make conscious effort to reduce the incidence of negativity.
Yes.
Sometimes the media finds it so helpless. There's nothing the media can do than to reflect what is happening. Look at what happened in Kumasi. There's no way anybody can say media shouldn't report that or media shouldn't have reported that. So it is about how we also reduce those negative things that we don't want anybody to see. And that is why some of us were very hard on Kotoko for that misbehavior there. So in as much as we would want to report good about, this product you are talking of, I think deliberate, conscious efforts must also be made to reduce the incidence of negative things. If the negativity is brought down, look, the media won't have anything to report but the positives.
I remember in yesterday's game at a point when when some of the fans were agitated and they wanted to start, or they started trying to throw some missiles onto the pitch.
A few of them threw a few things.
Yes, they threw. Yeah. They threw. They started, but I saw a section of the fans right to the stand, turning behind and saying, "Look, guys, don't do that. Guys, don't do that." And that's what actually stopped it. And that's what I want to see.
Let me mention something. Yesterday, while on the show here, I was presented with a situation. Okay, now a caller called in and said, "Look, I'm a Kotoko fan. I was seated among Hearts fans, a section of Hearts fans, and they behaved so well." And he wanted to commend them. He said, "Look, when the referee awarded a penalty, they disagreed. They all shared their opinions and left it there. When the penalty was called, they congratulated me, and then we all exited."
Yeah.
And then another caller called in and said, "Look, there were a section of Kotoko fans who started throwing objects onto the field. Where I sat as a moderator of the show, I had a choice to make. To magnify what the Kotoko fans started doing, or to magnify what the caller said about the Hearts of Oak fans.
Yeah.
And I decided to go with what he has said about the Hearts fans and urge other fans to emulate it. And people took issues with it, that I was taking a dig at a section of
maybe they wanted the other story to say
that's what we are saying.
Kumasi
we want to highlight
some of their colleagues from
we want to highlight the positives.
Yes.
And I think it's important.
Yes.
Okay. If you consider the history that we are coming from, it's important that we highlight some of these things. Also, because of the things we've been through over the last 2 years, look, the image of the Ghana Premier League has taken a battering. It's been battered. And to develop it, to enhance it, we need to say the positive things. And Jerome is right. We cannot say the positive things by compromising the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hans, I think there is this message we have to send to all spectators, and in this particular case, Kotoko fans. Look, a lot of people have been calling me today, telling me that, look, you guys are celebrating. You've forgotten the fact that Hearts of Oak felt so pained with that late-minute penalty. And I've been telling Kotoko fans that this is how the game should be. This is how the game is. You can get a decision going right for you at very late in the game. If it goes bad, accept it and move on. This is something that I want to make Kotoko fans to understand. There are those saying that if this had happened in Kumasi, it would have been something else. Going against Kotoko. But we must make it clear to all football fans that football cannot thrive in the atmosphere of violence. If we want to enjoy our game, just this afternoon, the GFA president has been talking about how excited he was seeing kicks at the stadium. Nobody will take his children to the stadium if the environment is hostile. So we must make it clear to all football fans, including Kotoko fans, that we should, as a matter of urgency, do everything to take violence out of our game. Otherwise, the excitement we want to see, we're going to kill it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, Jerome Otri, for your time here on the show. And for now, we can only wish you continue jubilating, but we wish Hearts of Oak fans all the best in the return encounter. Jerome Otri is a former editor of the Kotoko Express, speaking to us here on the Joy Sports Truck. We've done just about some 46 minutes past 1. You're live on Joy 99.7 FM. And we continue to talk about the Ghana Premier League. We're doing a few of your messages right about now. This one says, Frank Nelson hit the nail at the right place. You journalists, due to your stand close your eyes on issues contrary to yours. Just compare the excitement in your commentator's voice. Look, I'm not even going to go on with this. I don't know. Let's be fair. Let's be fair.
I'm just thinking that. Well, but the last thing you think about is which team scores when I go goals in you. That's so much on your mind. Anyway, Fugitive Ni was the man who sent the message from La.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. But you should be in commentary position one day and see what happens. You absolutely have no chance.
Idea.
Yes.
Let's do some more here.
Think about what it. Okay, there we go.
Good afternoon, guys. The only problem at yesterday's Super Clash has to do with ticketing. Okay, I think I've got that complaint quite a lot. And how some of the GRA officials and security personnel at the gate were stashing illegal monies and allowing people to enter without going through the normal process of buying tickets. Can the ticket be made available at some outlets to be bought ahead of time? That's a brilliant idea. And can we stop selling tickets maybe 3 hours to such big games? From Brown inside Danfa.
And Hans, on this point, there there are critical issues to look at when you don't sell your tickets, you don't have advance tickets. What happens is that on just one day, within hours, you are dealing with 30,000 plus people
exactly, who want to get into
the stadium.
Yeah.
Number one, you don't even have an idea of the kind of attendance you're expecting to show up your security or whatever it is.
Okay.
Number two, you make it very difficult for the neutrals. Remember that we have the core Kotoko fans, we have the core Hartsburg fans. Now, the neutrals are those we are trying to add on to the number.
Absolutely.
Because they make the difference. It's going to be difficult to say, now going to the stadium to look for
my understanding, it had never dawned on me that, the reason we don't record, we don't record some of these incidents, in the foreign leagues, because we know that games between, for instance, Manchester United and Liverpool are very intense affairs.
Yeah.
Games in other places, Inter Milan, AC Milan are very intense affairs. The reason we don't record some of these incidents is because the fans are actually segregated.
Yes.
Where you go to Stamford Bridge and you have Chelsea fans seated at designated places and Spurs fans seated at designated. You never find the two sets of fans mixing up.
No.
And that's because they sell advance tickets, and so they know if you're a Spurs fan and you are coming, they actually allocate a number of tickets to away fans. Correct?
Precisely. And so there's a part of the stadium you would be if you're a Newcastle fan.
Okay.
If you were a Manchester United fan, if you were a Spurs fan. The detail to ticketing is really, really, really tight.
There's a school of thought.
Well, we have to look at that here.
There was a comment I read from one guy that, look, Hearts and Kotoko fans, for instance, have been mixing since 1957.
Yeah.
So there is no reason why they have to be separated.
Yeah, but anyway, you can assume that everything will be fine. But it's even better to have the Hartsburg fans at one place and have the Kumasi and Kotoko fans at one place for so many other reasons aside just because you think that they are going to fight or kill each other. That's really not the point.
Yeah.
If you want to paint the Chelsea side of the stadium blue, you do that by putting a flag on every seat the Chelsea fans will sit on.
Absolutely.
So when the lights come on, you see all. Just imagine yesterday, for instance, one of the sponsors decided to take the opportunity, maybe say MTN, because they are sponsors here on Joy FM. I can mention your name easily. Like MTN took the opportunity that where Kotoko fans were seated, they were going to give them, like, say, an MTN flag.
Okay.
And at a certain minute, they will all raise the MTN flag and wave. It adds a lot. It adds a lot to the organization of it. And again, to do some of these things, you need proper preps. You really need to be ready for it.
Way ahead of time.
Yeah. One of the reasons why our clubs don't spend so much time in dealing with ticketing and all of that and the nitty-gritty is because we don't often get our stadia full like this. So I assume that if every Sunday you're going to have 28,000, 38,000, 30,000, 40,000, nobody will tell you that you have to start
given the sort of regime that we have. Yeah. Realistically, can we sell advance tickets? Look, you are looking at the Accra Sports Stadium where the seats are not properly numbered, for instance. Can we realistically decide that we are going to sell advance tickets?
So yeah, there's a challenge there. And even yesterday when I was doing my research and why Hartsburg would not move to advance ticket like that, they were also worried about fake tickets and all of that. So because our system is not really built so strong, you also are at a certain risk, people going in for, or people trying to manufacture, unless you are really prepared. And that you probably need materials from places that would take a long time for people to put together. It's easy for people to come up with fake tickets and
but these are investments that clubs must begin to make.
Very, very important investments, because I know that at every UEFA Champions League final, you go through about 10 barricades. In the final one, your ticket has to go through a scanner. If it doesn't go through, you are asked to go back, no matter what happened. If you are gone through the 9 barricades and fail the 10 barricade. But that is a very tight security system. So in as much as we are pushing the clubs, yes, we also have to understand the challenges that they face in trying to get there. Absolutely. It's a gradual process. So I know that the last time we had a lot of people in the stadium, like more than 30,000, the Kenichi days, was 2016. We had some advanced tickets. They had tickets in various shells and Totals and all of that around the country. That was okay. So can we do that the next time? Can we improve on what we have seen? Let's say the next Super Clash, it will be great. And when we expect people to come to the stadium, so in those areas like Kumasi, Asante, Kotoko, Hartsburg, these are the games where you have to step up and get the job done. But really, the other question is, if you have 30 games in a season, or if you have 28 games, or let's say you have 34 games in a season, you also need some amount of money to be going into this ticketing thing. So let's hope that the e-ticket thing works out and it's easy for everyone.
Overall, I mean, what we saw yesterday, how much hope does it give you? How much belief does it give you that, you know, before we get on, let me read this one. It says, okay, I think I've gone through that.
Okay, you've gone through this one. This one for you. Okay, that's one about tickets. Okay.
Okay, so this one says, Joy FM, advance tickets were sold at AFCON 2018.
That's AFCON.
That's true.
That's AFCON.
That's a different level of organization.
That's Confederation of African Football.
Yeah.
That is a different level, and that's why I said, for instance, the UEFA Champions League and where I've been to, I've had a first-hand experience. So AFCON is a different
but you see
thing altogether.
You see, I think that
what
we saw yesterday,
and even if you needed a fan ID, even to buy a ticket. So
I think that from what we saw yesterday, investing in some of these things would make business sense for a lot of these clubs.
Yeah.
At least for Hearts and Kotoko, it will make business sense. Because look, it allows you to get a lot more people into the stadium. It allows you to track your revenue properly. Because as I understand, from what the comment that we read, you know, a lot of the money has gone into people's pockets free, despite the numbers we recorded. You know, so it will make business sense for Hearts and Kotoko at least to invest in some of these, you know, technologies.
It's a gradual process, and I think there's no excuse for the big game like a super clash between Hartlepool and Kumasi Asante. There's no reason why we shouldn't have advanced tickets. I mean, we have to move past that. So whatever the challenges were, they will have to look at it and try to move past that. Oh, corporate Ghana, like they say, you don't need to say too much if you are going to get a lady to believe in you, like you got your wife to believe in you and marry her. You know what? If corporate Ghana can see 40, if corporate Ghana can see 38,000,
stick to corporate Ghana. Let's stick to corporate Ghana.
If corporate Ghana can see 38,000, like they saw yesterday,
they have no reason not to associate
they will come. Because these are the numbers that Shatawale and Stoneboy are trying to get close to when they go to the Dome.
Finally, are we out of the woods? Is the love back? Is Ghana football back on its feet?
It will be very difficult to say that the love is finally back, because Accra Hartlepool and Kumasi Asante Kotoko can...
That sort of game.
Yes, that sort of game.
It can be deceptive.
Now, I give everybody, you know, a thumbs up because we have moved up in terms of numbers. So we have seen Hearts and Kotoko, we're not getting close to filling the stadium. So that is a plus. It's an indication that we are on the way. But we need to generate more numbers, and we need to continue what we're doing. So what Legon cities are doing, for instance, we need to see more of that happening. You don't need to bring Shatawale to your stadium, I'm saying, to your home ground. If you can afford Shatawale, that's good. If you can afford Stoneboy, that's good. If you can't afford Shatawale, you can't afford Stoneboy, can you do something that becomes a culture? Something that welcomes us when we come to Pichim Park.
I even
something
think
that welcomes us.
Hold it there. I even think that, you see, at the towns and cities where the clubs are based, there are local stars there, music arts there.
That's what I'm talking about.
For instance, Aswedo there's Patapa. Patapa can always draw the crowd to the Aswedo Sports Stadium. Use him. You don't necessarily need to go get Shatawale. Let's just enhance the match day experience. You know, for fans.
There are guys, the people there.
On the side though, over the weekend also, Manchester United won by 6 goals.
That's
even one. The Lingard scored.
You see, the problem here is if Manchester United...
Ole is at the wheel.
No, Manchester United beat Tranmere. Now, the Tranmere team, you need about 16
if Tranmere had beaten Manchester United...
You need Tranmere. Now, you need about 16 or 17 of Tranmere in the Premier League for Manchester United to be anywhere in the first three. But
we've closed.
But it's good that you won.
We've closed. Komla Adum is there.
It's good that you won.
You're a Hearts fan, eh? You're a Kotoko fan?
He's not a Kotoko fan, he's not a Hearts fan.
Voradep.
We'll give him Voradep.
Pando, Heart of Lions.
We'll see Voradep soon. But his problem is with Barcelona. They lost to Valencia. They lost to Valencia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Real Madrid are top of the table right now. Yes.
When we come here and ask you which club do you support, don't talk to us about you.
Barca and Real Madrid. You have to choose Kotoko or Hearts. You have to choose one.
Kotoko, Heart of Lions.
No. You see, and Hans, no matter where you hide,
a local club.
Hans,
as a Ghanaian.
Hans, look, no matter where you hide in Ghana, you can mention all the clubs that you can.
Absolutely.
There are two main branches, Kotoko or Hearts. So you tell me the club that you support, you say Interlice, I'll look through it and say you are here or you are there. You tell me Liberty, I know you are here or you are there. You don't know the club I support. You tell me Agbozume Weavers, I'll tell you are here or you are there.
You don't know the club I support.
You support Hazakes?
No.
You support?
Iskado Bayern Munich.
Iskado Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
I put you under Kotoko today.
And that's our show for this afternoon. Thank you very much, George Addo Jr. Thanks to Mr. Frank Nelson and Jerome Autry, who joined us on the line. Thanks for the messages that you sent through. We've got a job to do. The Super Clash is an indication of the bright future that the Ghana Premier League and Ghana football as a whole has. Let's build on it. Let's consolidate the gains, and let's together take Ghana football to the levels that we will all be proud to see it. Thank you very much. My name is Hans Mensah Andoh. Komladum is up next with the news.